It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon when the world changed forever. Dr. Sarah Chen, a brilliant astrophysicist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, was sipping her third cup of coffee and staring at her computer screen. Her eyes were tired from hours of analyzing data from deep space telescopes. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the lab. Sarah jumped, nearly spilling her coffee. Her colleagues rushed to their stations, fingers flying over keyboards. "We've got an anomaly," shouted Dr. James Wilson, his face pale with excitement. It's a signal from deep space." Sarah's heart raced as she pulled up the data on her screen. There it was, a clear, repeating pattern unlike anything they'd ever seen before. It wasn't random noise or a natural phenomenon. This was a message. For the next 48 hours, scientists around the world worked nonstop to decipher the signal. They'd brought in linguists, mathematicians, and even cryptographers. It was Dr. Chen who finally cracked the code. It's a distress call," she announced to a room full of tired but eager faces. "From an alien fleet." The news spread like wildfire. Within hours, every TV channel, radio station, and social media platform was buzzing with the incredible story. Humans weren't alone in the universe, and more importantly, an advanced alien civilization was asking for their help. World leaders gathered in an emergency United Nations session. The alien message was clear. Their fleet was stranded in a distant part of our galaxy, facing a crisis they couldn't solve alone. They had searched the stars for a species capable of helping them and had chosen humanity. As the UN debated, people around the world were glued to their screens. In New York City, crowds gathered in Times Square, watching the news on giant displays. In a small village in India, families huddled around a single old television. In Rio de Janeiro, beachgoers forgot about the sun and surf, instead discussing the incredible news. Dr. Chen found herself thrust into the spotlight. She explained the message to reporters, her eyes shining with excitement. "They'd given us coordinates," she said. "They're far, really far. But they believe we have the potential to reach them and help." The question on everyone's lips was, why us? Why had these advanced aliens chosen humanity? Dr. Wilson had a theory. "Maybe it's our creativity," he suggested during a press conference. "Our ability to think outside the box, to come up with solutions no one else has thought of." As the days passed, a global consensus began to form. This was humanity's chance to prove itself on a cosmic stage, to show that despite our differences, we could come together for a greater cause. In a historic address, the UN Secretary-General announced the decision to the world. "We, the people of Earth, have decided to answer this call," she said, her voice firm with resolve. "We will build a ship, we will cross the stars, and we will help our new alien friends." The announcement was met with cheers around the globe. In every country, people celebrated this new chapter in human history. Scientists began drafting plans for the most ambitious space mission ever attempted. Engineers started designing a ship that could cross unimaginable distances, and a worldwide search began for the bravest, smartest crew to represent Earth. As night fell on that momentous day, Dr. Chen stood outside the JPL, looking up at the stars. Somewhere out there, an alien civilization was waiting for humanity's help. And for the first time, the vast expanse of space didn't seem so empty or frightening. She smiled to herself. The adventure was just beginning. The days following the alien message were a whirlwind of activity. As the world's leaders gathered in New York for an emergency United Nations summit, the streets outside were filled with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Inside the UN building, heated debates raged. Some nations were eager to answer the call, seeing it as humanity's chance to prove itself on a cosmic stage. Others were more cautious, worried about the risks of venturing into deep space to help an unknown alien race. Dr. Sarah Chen found herself at the center of it all. As the scientist who had decoded the message, she was called to speak before the assembly. She stood at the podium, her hands shaking slightly as she faced the world's most powerful people. "The choice before us is clear," she said, her voice growing stronger with each word. "We can stay on Earth, safe in our own little corner of the galaxy. Or we can reach for the stars and show the universe what humanity is truly capable of." Her words struck a chord. One by one, nations began to voice their support for the mission. Even longtime rivals set aside their differences in the face of this cosmic challenge. Meanwhile, in labs and universities around the world, scientists and engineers were already hard at work. They faced an enormous challenge: how to build a spaceship capable of traveling farther than any human had ever gone before. In Silicon Valley, tech billionaire Elon Musk announced he was putting his entire fortune behind the project. "Money is no object," he declared in a viral video. "We'll build the greatest ship the world has ever seen." At NASA's Johnson Space Center, veteran astronaut Commander John Rivera began assembling a team. "We need the best of the best," he told reporters. "This mission will push us to our limits and beyond." As the days turned into weeks, a sense of purpose swept across the globe. In schools, children made models of spaceships and dreamed of exploring the cosmos. In factories, workers volunteered for extra shifts to produce the high-tech components needed for the mission. But not everyone was convinced. Protests sprang up in cities around the world. "Earth first." Their signs read, "Why risk our lives for aliens?" The debate reached a boiling point when a group of hackers leaked classified documents about the mission. The files revealed just how dangerous the journey would be. The chances of the crew surviving were slim at best. The news sent shockwaves through the public. Support for the mission began to waver. World leaders called for calm, but the fear was spreading fast. It was Dr. Chen who turned the tide. In a passionate speech broadcast worldwide, she addressed the fears head-on. "Yes, this mission is dangerous," she admitted, "but so was crossing the oceans in wooden ships. So was flying to the moon in a tin can. Every great achievement in human history has come with risks, but we take those risks because that's who we are. We're explorers. We're dreamers. We're human." Her words resonated with people around the world. Support for the mission surged once again. In a final vote at the UN, the decision was made official. Humanity would answer the call. The announcement was met with cheers and tears of joy. In Times Square, strangers hugged each other. In Tokyo, fireworks lit up the sky. In Rio de Janeiro, a spontaneous carnival erupted in the streets. As the celebrations continued into the night, work began in earnest. The greatest minds on Earth came together, pooling their knowledge and resources. They had a spaceship to build, a crew to train, and a galaxy to cross. Humanity had made its decision. Now, the real challenge began. The world had never seen anything like it. In every corner of the globe, people were working together towards a single goal: building humanity's first interstellar spaceship. At the newly established World Space Center in Kenya, engineers from dozens of countries huddled over blueprints. They were designing a ship unlike any other, one that could travel faster than light and sustain a crew for years in deep space. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a brilliant Japanese physicist, had a breakthrough. She developed a new type of engine that could bend space-time itself. "It's like folding a piece of paper," she explained to her excited colleagues. "We can bring distant points in space closer together." Meanwhile, in underground bunkers in Switzerland, scientists were working on solving another crucial problem: how to protect the crew from the deadly radiation of space. Dr. Hans Müller, a German biologist, found the answer in an unexpected place: tardigrades. He announced one day, holding up a vial of microscopic creatures. "These little guys can survive almost anything. If we can understand how they do it, we can protect our astronauts." As the ship took shape, the search for a crew began. Millions of people from around the world applied, hoping for a chance to make history, but only the best would do. Commander John Rivera led the selection process. He put candidates through grueling physical and mental tests, "We're not just looking for peak physical condition," he said. "We need people who can think on their feet and work as a team under extreme pressure." After months of testing, the final crew was chosen. They came from all walks of life and every continent. There was Lai Wei, a Chinese quantum computer expert; Maria Rodriguez, a Brazilian doctor specializing in space medicine; Kwame Osai, a Ghanaian engineer with a knack for fixing anything; and Sarah Chen, the astrophysicist who had first decoded the alien message. Training began immediately. The crew spent months in underwater facilities, simulating the isolation of space. They learned to repair complex machinery while wearing bulky spacesuits. They studied alien languages and practiced first contact scenarios. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. During a high-gravity simulation, Maria broke her arm. Kwame struggled with claustrophobia in the cramped living quarters. Sarah and Lee clashed over the best approach to communicating with the aliens. "We're supposed to be humanity's best," Sarah snapped one day after a particularly heated argument. "But we can't even agree on basic protocols." It was Commander Rivera who brought them together. He took the team on a camping trip to the Amazon rainforest. There, cut off from technology and forced to rely on each other, they finally began to bond as a team. Around a campfire one night, they shared their fears and hopes for the mission. Lai spoke of leaving behind his young daughter. Kwame admitted he was terrified of dying alone in space. Sarah revealed the immense pressure she felt as the one who had started it all. "But that's why we're the right team for this," John said, looking each of them in the eye. "We're not fearless superheroes. We're human. And that humanity is what will see us through this mission." As the launch date approached, excitement built around the world. The ship, christened Horizon, was unveiled to gasps of awe. Its sleek design and advanced technology looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. On the night before the launch, billions tuned in to watch a global concert celebrating the mission. Musicians from every country performed, their songs of hope and unity bringing tears to eyes around the world. As dawn broke on launch day, the crew stood before the horizon, ready to make history. They wore spacesuits adorned with a new symbol, a flag showing Earth as a unified world. Commander Rivera turned to his team. "Remember," he said, his voice steady, "no matter how far we go, we carry the hopes and dreams of all humanity with us." With a deep breath, they stepped forward, ready to begin the greatest journey in human history. The launch was spectacular. As Horizon lifted off, its engines glowing with otherworldly light, cheers erupted around the globe. Millions watched, hearts pounding, as the ship rose higher and higher, finally disappearing into the starry sky. Inside the ship, the crew felt the crushing force of liftoff. Commander John Rivera gripped his seat tightly, his eyes fixed on the control panel. "Status report," he called out, his voice steady despite the shaking. "All systems go," reported Kwame, the engineer. "Dr. Tanaka's space-folding engine is warming up." As Earth shrank to a blue marble behind them, Sarah Chen couldn't help but feel a pang of emotion. "We're really doing it," she whispered. "We're leaving our solar system." The first test of the new engine came as they approached Mars. With a flash of light and a strange twisting sensation, the red planet suddenly appeared right in front of them. Then, just as quickly, it was gone. "It worked," shouted Lai Wei, his usual calm demeanor breaking into a wide grin. "We've just traveled faster than light." But their jubilation was short-lived. As they pushed deeper into space, new challenges arose. Strange radiation began interfering with their communications. Mysterious dark matter clouds threatened to throw them off course. Maria Rodriguez, the doctor, had her hands full. The extreme speeds and unknown space phenomena were taking a toll on the crew's health. "I'm seeing increased cellular stress," she reported worriedly. "If this continues, we might not survive the trip." It was Kwame who found a solution. Working tirelessly in the engine room, he modified Dr. Tanaka's design to create a protective bubble around the ship. "It's not perfect," he admitted, wiping sweat from his brow. but it should buy us some time. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the crew settled into a routine. They took turns manning the controls, analyzing data, and keeping the ship in top shape. During their downtime, they shared stories of home and wondered about the aliens they were going to meet. But the journey was far from easy. Food supplies began to run low, forcing them to ration carefully. The ship's recycling systems struggled to keep up with their needs. Tempers flared as the stress of confinement and the unknown weighed on them. One day, a particularly nasty argument broke out between Sarah and Lai over the correct interpretation of some alien data. Harsh words were exchanged, and the tension spread to the rest of the crew. It was Maria who finally broke the ice. She organized a movie night, projecting an old sci-fi film onto the ship's main screen. As they laughed at the outdated special effects and cheesy dialogue, the tension began to ease. "You know," John said, smiling for the first time in days, "I bet we look just as silly to those aliens we're trying to help." The shared laughter brought the crew closer together. They began to work more efficiently as a team, each person's strengths complementing the others. As they entered the outer reaches of the galaxy, they encountered wonders beyond imagination. They saw the birth of new stars in swirling nebulae, witnessed the awesome power of black holes, and marveled at the beauty of alien worlds. But with each new discovery came new dangers. Meteor showers pummeled the ship, leaving Quaim scrambling to make repairs. Strange energy fields played havoc with their instruments, forcing Lai to constantly recalibrate their course. Through it all, the memory of Earth and their mission kept them going. They were humanity's ambassadors, carrying the hopes and dreams of billions across the cosmos. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, their sensors picked up a signal. "It's them," Sarah announced, her voice trembling with excitement. "We've found the alien fleet." As Horizon approached the massive collection of alien ships, the crew felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness. They had traveled farther than any humans in history, faced countless challenges, and grown closer than family. But the greatest test was still to come. Commander Rivera's voice came over the intercom, steady and resolved. "This is it, team. Everything we've done has led to this moment. Let's show these aliens what humanity can do." With a deep breath, they prepared for first contact, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As Horizon approached the alien fleet, the crew's excitement was palpable. Thousands of ships, each one larger than a city, floated silently in space. Their designs were unlike anything humans had ever seen, with curves and angles that seemed to defy physics. "It's beautiful," Sarah whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. Commander Rivera's voice crackled over the comms. "Remember your training, everyone. We're making history here." Suddenly, a beam of light shot out from the largest alien ship, enveloping Horizon in a soft blue glow. The human crew held their breath, unsure what to expect. A voice, unlike any they had ever heard, filled their minds. It was as if the universe itself was speaking to them. "Greetings, humans of Earth. We are the Zarathac. We welcome you to our fleet." Lai Wei, the communications expert, stepped forward. Using the alien language algorithms he had developed, he responded, "We come in peace and offer our assistance." The alien voice seemed pleased. "Your journey is most impressive. Please, dock with our main ship. We have much to discuss." As Horizon maneuvered towards the docking bay, the crew prepared themselves. They had trained for this moment, but nothing could truly prepare them for meeting an advanced alien civilization. The docking procedure was smooth, guided by the aliens' advanced technology. As the airlock opened, the crew took their first steps onto the alien ship. They found themselves in a vast, shimmering hall. The walls seemed alive, pulsing with colors and patterns. And there, waiting for them, were the Zarathac. The aliens were tall, graceful beings that seemed to be made of living crystal. Their bodies shimmered with internal light, changing colors as they moved. They had no mouths, yet their thoughts reached the humans clearly. "We are grateful for your arrival," the lead alien communicated. "Our fleet faces a crisis beyond our ability to solve." As the aliens explained their situation, the human crew listened intently. The Zarthak were a peaceful, highly advanced race. They had been on a mission of galactic exploration when they encountered a strange anomaly in spacetime. "This anomaly has drained our ships of power," the alien leader explained. "Our technology, advanced as it is, cannot penetrate its mysteries. We are stranded, unable to return home." The humans exchanged glances. This was far beyond what they had expected. How could they, with their relatively primitive technology, hope to solve a problem that baffled even the Zarthak? But then something unexpected happened. As the alien showed them the data on the anomaly, Sarah's eyes lit up with recognition. "This energy signature," she said excitedly. "It's similar to what we encountered near that black hole in the Cygnus constellation." The alien's surprise was evident. "You have encountered such phenomena before?" Quaim stepped forward. "Not exactly, but we developed some unique shielding techniques to protect our ship. Maybe we could adapt that technology to help your fleet." The Zarthak were intrigued. They had not considered such an approach, their own technology being so different from human designs. As discussions continued, it became clear that the humans' fresh perspective might be exactly what was needed. Their less advanced but more flexible technology, combined with their creative problem-solving skills, offered new possibilities. The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. The human crew worked tirelessly alongside the Zarthak scientists, combining their knowledge and technologies in ways neither species had imagined before. Lai and Sarah worked on translating complex alien scientific concepts. Maria studied Zarthak biology, looking for ways to enhance their natural resilience. Quaim and John focused on adapting human shielding technology to the massive alien ships. Progress was slow at first, with many setbacks and frustrations. The differences in their technologies and ways of thinking led to frequent misunderstandings. But gradually, they began to find common ground. One evening, as they took a break from their work, a young Zarthak approached the human crew. Its body glowed with a soft, curious light. "We have a question," it communicated. "Your species is so young, your technology so new. Yet you traveled across the galaxy to help us, facing unknown dangers. Why?" The humans looked at each other, smiling. It was Commander Rivera who answered. "Because that's what humans do," he said simply. "We explore. We help. We face the unknown. It's who we are." The Zarthak's light pulsed with understanding, and what seemed like admiration. As the humans returned to their work, they felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were not just saving an alien fleet. They were showing the universe the very best of humanity. As days turned into weeks, the human crew and the Zarthak worked tirelessly to solve the energy crisis plaguing the alien fleet. Progress was slow, but steady. The combination of human ingenuity and Zarthak technology was proving to be powerful. Quaim had a breakthrough when he suggested using a modified version of Earth's solar panel technology. "If we can create a large enough array," he explained, his eyes shining with excitement, "we might be able to harvest energy from nearby stars." The Zarthak were skeptical at first. Their own energy systems were far more advanced, but as Quaim demonstrated his ideas using simple materials, they began to see the potential. Meanwhile, Sarah and Lai were working on a way to navigate around the spacetime anomaly. They spent hours poring over star charts and complex equations, trying to find a safe path for the fleet. One day, as they were deep in discussion, Sarah had an idea. "What if we're thinking about this all wrong?" she said suddenly. "Instead of avoiding the anomaly, what if we use it?" Lai looked at her, confused. "Use it? But it's draining the fleet's power." Sarah nodded excitedly. "Exactly. It's like a whirlpool. Fighting against it is draining their energy. But what if we could ride it instead? Use its own power to slingshot the fleet to safety?" The idea was radical, even dangerous. But as they explained it to the Zarthak, the aliens' crystal bodies pulsed with interest. However, not everything was going smoothly. As the humans introduced more and more of their ideas, some of the Zarthak began to grow uneasy. They were not used to such unpredictable, sometimes chaotic methods. Tensions came to a head when one of Quaim's experimental energy collectors exploded, damaging a small section of the main ship. No one was hurt, but the incident sparked a heated debate among the Zarthak leadership. "These humans are reckless," one faction argued. "Their methods are crude and dangerous. We should not risk our fleet on their untested ideas." The human crew found themselves facing a crisis of trust. Everything they had worked for was in danger of falling apart. It was Maria who found a way to bridge the gap. She had been studying Zarthak biology and had made an interesting discovery. Their bodies, she explained to her crewmates, they don't just communicate thoughts, they share emotions, experiences. With the help of a friendly Zarthak scientist, Maria set up a demonstration. She asked Commander Rivera to share his memories of the journey from Earth, the challenges they faced, the wonders they saw, and the unwavering determination that drove them forward. As John's experiences flowed into the Zarthak's crystalline network, something remarkable happened. The aliens' bodies began to pulse with new colors, vibrant blues of courage, deep purples of determination, and bright golds of hope. For the first time, the Zarthak truly understood the spirit that had driven these humans across the galaxy to help them. They felt the fears the humans had overcome, the sacrifices they had made, and the unshakable belief in their mission. The mood shifted. The Zarthak leadership, moved by what they had experienced, agreed to continue with the humans' plans. With renewed cooperation, work progressed rapidly. Quaim's solar arrays began to supply power to the fleet. Sarah and Lee's calculations for using the anomaly were refined and tested in simulations. Finally, after weeks of preparation, they were ready for the final test. If it worked, the fleet would be saved. If it failed, both humans and Zarthak would be lost in the depths of space. As the moment of truth approached, Commander Rivera gathered his crew. Their faces were tired but determined. "Whatever happens," he said, "I want you all to know how proud I am. You've shown the best of humanity out here among the stars." The Zarthak leader joined them, its crystalline body glowing with a warm, golden light. "We, too, are grateful," it communicated. "You have taught us much about courage, creativity, and the power of working together despite our differences." With a shared nod of determination, humans and aliens took their positions. The future of two species now rested on this moment, born from the unlikely partnership between humanity's bold spirit and the Zarthak's ancient wisdom. As the orders were given and the massive fleet began to move, everyone held their breath. The greatest test of human ingenuity was about to begin. The moment of truth had arrived. The massive Zarthak fleet, guided by human ingenuity, began its daring maneuver towards the space-time anomaly. On the bridge of the lead ship, humans and aliens worked side by side, their fates intertwined. Commander John Rivera's voice was steady as he gave the order. "Initiate slingshot procedure." Quaim's modified solar arrays hummed to life, feeding power into the fleet's engines. Sarah and Lee monitored the trajectory, making split-second adjustments. Maria kept a close eye on both human and Zarthak life signs, ready for any emergency. As they approached the anomaly, the ships began to shake. Strange lights danced across the view screens, and instruments sparked with unknown energies. The Zarthak's crystalline bodies flickered with nervous pulses. "We're experiencing more gravitational stress than expected," Sarah called out, her fingers flying over the controls. "The calculations, they're not holding up." For a moment, panic threatened to overwhelm them. Years of work, a journey across the galaxy, all hanging by a thread. But then, something remarkable happened. Lai Wei, usually quiet and reserved, stood up. "We didn't come this far to fail now," he said, his voice firm. "Sarah, what if we invert the shield frequency? It might create a bubble to ride the gravitational waves." It was a wild idea, born of human desperation and creativity. The Zarthak scientists quickly ran the numbers, their bodies glowing with rapid calculations. "It's never been attempted," the alien leader communicated, "but it might work." With no time to spare, the plan was put into action. Quaim rerouted power to the shields, while Sarah and Lai worked furiously to reconfigure the systems. The entire fleet held its breath. As they entered the heart of the anomaly, the ships were tossed like leaves in a storm. Alarms blared, and for a terrifying moment, it seemed all might be lost. But then, miraculously, the ride smoothed out. They were surfing the waves of space-time itself. "It's working," Quaim shouted, his face lit with joy. "We're riding the anomaly." The scene outside was beyond description. Stars streaked by in impossible colors, and the fabric of space itself seemed to ripple around them. It was terrifying and beautiful all at once. For what seemed like an eternity, the fleet hurtled through the anomaly. When they finally emerged on the other side, a cheer went up that echoed across the stars. They had done it. The Zarthak fleet was saved, and they were in a completely new part of the galaxy. As the euphoria of success washed over them, humans and Zarthak alike embraced, their differences forgotten in the joy of shared triumph. The Zarthak leader's body glowed with colors of gratitude and admiration. "You have saved us," it communicated to the human crew. "But more than that, you have taught us the value of diversity, of approaching problems in new ways. We are forever in your debt." Commander Rivera smiled, looking at his team with pride. "We came here to help," he said simply. "That's what humanity does. We reach out, we explore, we solve problems. Together, we've proven that the spirit of cooperation can overcome any obstacle." In the days that followed, as the Zarthak prepared for their journey home, a new bond was forged between the two species. The aliens shared their advanced technology, promising to help humanity take its next steps into the cosmos. In return, the humans offered their unique perspectives and irrepressible spirit of adventure. As Horizon prepared for its long journey back to Earth, the mood was bittersweet. They had accomplished their mission beyond anyone's wildest dreams, but saying goodbye to their new alien friends was hard. "You will always have a home among the stars," the Zarthak leader told them, its body shimmering with warm, welcoming colors. Sarah looked out at the alien fleet, then back at the starry expanse that led to Earth. "We came here as humanity's representatives," she said softly. "But we're going home as citizens of the galaxy." As Horizon's engines fired up, carrying its crew back towards the tiny blue marble they called home, they knew nothing would ever be the same. Humanity had been called to save a stranded alien fleet, but in doing so, they had found their place in the cosmic community. The stars stretched out before them, full of promise and adventure. And somewhere out there, the Zarthak were spreading the word. Humans might be young, but they were a species to watch. A species of problem solvers, of dreamers, of heroes. A species that, when called, would cross the galaxy to help a stranger in need.